There we go. Recording in progress. All right, backtracking. I'm going to share again. I do not, so clearly I do not have complete control over my mind. Here we go. All right. So again, so it's just these yoga masters, they could really slow down their heartbeat. Some of them, if anybody's ever read Autobiography of a Yogi, he says that some of his teachers could really be in two places at one time. They could astral project. So two people would swear to have seen this yoga master in two different places at exactly the same time. So super interesting stuff. So what can we really have control over? Can we control our bodies? Can we control our health? And if you've ever read that book, in that book, or maybe it's something a little bit after that. So he actually knew exactly when he was going to die. He wasn't ill, he wasn't old, but he knew like basically the exact time and date of his death. So this mastery of the mind, this insight. So when we get to this level of third eye chakra, that we're able to see into the future as well as the past, which is really fascinating. I never know how much of it to believe, but I do find it fascinating. So Agnya Chakra represents the highest of the psychic centers. So we've been going again through all of these chakras along the spine, and they all relate to emotions. So they all relate to our mind. And then again, just sort of this sense of mind and body connection. So can I control this part of my mind, this part of my body through my mind? But getting to this, to having really control, mastery, openness, however you want to think about it, of the Agnya chakra, we have to go through all the other chakras. We have to have, openness or balance or control of all of those chakras to get to this state. So it's a progression through those chakras to get to this really open, really it's almost right, sort of like a portal, this openness to deeper knowledge. So the sixth chakra is associated with the center of perception, consciousness, intuition. We talked about the throat being, I forget the term that was used for that one, about sort of being the seat of consciousness. But now we're getting to this deeper state, right? So we have this deep awareness when we're getting to that level of the throat chakra. But now we have this real openness where we're really able to see what's true. So it's not just, deep awareness, but we're going beyond that into this really deep level of insight. So third eye reveals insight into the future, freedom of thought and expression, and that we're not only seeing things, but that we're understanding. So yeah, so not just that level of awareness, of consciousness, but that we're really understanding what we're perceiving. So this, a lot of times, that you'll see, right? I usually do this at the end of class. Some teachers will say, they'll do hands at the heart. I think it's, may I feel the truth? May I, and then hands to the lips, may I speak the truth? May I know the truth? So you'll see that a lot. Just the hands, basically coming up to the third eye. Indigo blue. So I thought this is interesting because I didn't really have a concept of what indigo blue really was. I think of it as being very blue, but there is a little bit of red in it. So it is kind of a purpley blue. And it's said to be the color of the universe, the color of wisdom and inner knowledge. It opens the door to the divine. So I love this, there is a lot of Hinduism that gets filtered into yoga, but I like it, the really pure yoga in the Yoga Sutras, there's no religion in it. But so whatever your religion is or whatever your beliefs are, It's just, you can, however you think about God, or I like the word divine because I think it just connects us with whatever this energy is, this energy of creation. However you think about that, it can translate into any religion or non-religion or any belief system, I think. So this indigo blue is said to bring clarity to all 5 senses. Indigo encourages the transformation of energies from the lower chakras into the higher spiritual vibrations. So again, just a sense of that everything is energy. And so that even colors have an energy, have a vibration, shift how we feel. So light is the element that's associated with Agnya chakra. The light is often associated with illumination. Light is associated with the ability to see, and as well as just, sort of insight, illumination, light. And then it's that, the speed of light, that there is nothing that we know of that moves more quickly than light. But our thoughts also move very quickly. And so when we're at this level of, deep intuition, that we're able to just know and understand things instantly, like the speed of light. But when we get into those sleepy states, so I don't know if this ever happens to you during the guided meditations that I do, a lot of times what I notice is how quickly the mind can move. When the mind is relaxed, or when we're in that sort of sleepy state, and, like that, when we're conscious of that dreamlike state, how quickly the mind can shift. So I think about it in that way too, just that ability to really take in information when we're at this higher state of consciousness, which is weird that that sleepy state, I think, is where we have this higher state of consciousness a lot of times. All right, so you guys have all seen, the bindi on people's foreheads. And so that is a symbol of the third eye opening. A balanced Agnya chakra. We become unattached to material possessions, which I think we can kind of imagine, but we don't live in a world where that's our reality, right? Our world is all about attaining more material possessions. But I think more and more we have this consciousness of how material possessions can kind of drag us down and hold us back. And, we're just so attached to our things, and how they don't really always make us happy. So I like this concept of, that there's this freedom that comes with being unattached to our material possessions. We have no fear of death. So I think that is awesome too. Hopefully we can all get to that place where we have no fear of death. And then we see into the future and our past lives. So again, I took all of this, with a grain of salt, but I really love these concepts. I think it'd be really interesting to be able to see somewhat into the future and to maybe see our past lives. All right, balancing. So how do we create? So again, we've talked about how we have to go through this progression. That really we can't just focus on this, theoretically anyway. That we really have to work on all the lower chakras to get to this point. But I think that we can work on things simultaneously as well. So we may not get super, advanced in that, sort of sense of vision and wisdom, but I think that we can work on everything at the same time. So surrounding yourself with indigo blue. So again, it's that kind of purpley blue color. Flowers, painting your wall, changing your sheets, anything around you that has that color can give you that vibration. Foods, supposedly eating beets. So again, these are all kind of purpley foods, beets, eggplants, and lavender. So lavender, I don't think I've ever had lavender in any foods, but I do have some teas that have lavender, some herb teas that have lavender in them. Oh, or lavender kombucha. I like that one. Nadi Shodhana, so alternate nostril breathing. breathing. So I'm just going to go do this one really quickly. We've done this before. But just for the sake of time, we're just going to go through it quickly. So usually I do it with middle and index fingers down, and then you use your thumb and your ring finger to close off your nostril. So you're just breathing through one nostril at a time. So if you're working on opening up this third eye chakra, then you can do it with the index and the middle finger up. So some people do it this way all the time, so that you're really touching that that brow center chakra. And then you're still using your thumb and your ring finger to close off. And so it just goes, you're inhaling through your left nostril, you're exhaling through the right, inhaling through the right, exhaling through the left, right? So you're just kind of going around up and down. The mantra is Om. So again, it's this concept of the vibration of the universe. And so you can just hear that silently, you can say it out loud, you can imagine that vibration of Om right again at that brow center. So if you do it, so you don't have to do it, but if you put your hand on your head, you should be able to feel that vibration in the top of your head. So maybe you can feel it at your third eye too. Yeah, I can't feel it as much there, but you can get the sense of that vibration, and then you can imagine that vibration right at that third eye point. Candle gazing. So we're going to go through how to do this in a second. Candle gazing meditation. So you're staring at a candle. Ganesha mudra. So Ganesha, so that's what this little image is up here of the hands. It's the right palm is up and the left palm is down, and then you're just hooking your fingers together. And you can let those hands rest in your lap. There's a few of them for opening up this chakra, but Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. So that to me seems super fitting, and just trying to clear our third eye is to remove any obstacles in our way. All right, candle gazing. You guys may have done this. It's a fairly common technique because it's super simple. You're just putting a candle really, in, so you don't have to drop your head down, you don't have to look up. You just want it to be somewhere where you can gaze comfortably at the flame. You're really looking at the flame of the candle. You're trying to keep your eyes open without blinking for as long as you possibly can. So as long as it's comfortable. You usually will start to tear up a little bit as you just try to stare and breathe and sit comfortably. Your eyes will usually start to tear up a little bit. Just like any meditation, if thoughts come into your head, you're just observing them. So again, it's this mastery of the mind, this science of the mind. So we're witnessing what's happening in our minds. And then we're just letting that, so what are my thoughts? Okay. And then I'm just going to let them drift off. And then once you can't keep your eyes open any longer, right? Once it just becomes like too much of a struggle to stare at that flame, you're going to let your eyes closed and imagine that flame. So you're still trying to visualize that flame with your eyes closed. You can try to visualize that flame is right at the brow center. And when the image disappears from your mind, right, when you can't picture it anymore, you're just opening up your eyes, you're gazing at the candle again. So you're just doing that 2 or 3 times to help open up the mind's eye. I think all of meditation is about opening up this third eye. Really, we're trying to witness what's happening in the mind. We're trying to have control of our minds. We're trying to let those thoughts go. But having something to focus on I think is super helpful. All right, observation and journaling. Just pay attention to your intuition. We tend to ignore it. We tend to dismiss it. And then later we kick ourselves. All right, I should have listened to, that little seed, that little thought in my mind, that little feeling that I had. Especially when it comes to certain people, I definitely had moments where I thought something about somebody. I thought, no, like I just can't when I was a teenager, one of my friends, took something that was mine, nothing important. But I thought that they had taken it and I wasn't sure. And I thought, no, something else happened to it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And then later I found it in their house. Right. So so it's not a super important thing. I mean, it does tell you something about that person. But I think a lot of times we really dismiss it. And so if you have intuition, write down your thoughts, pay attention to it. And just again, this consciousness of, when am I paying attention to it? When am I right? When am I wrong? And when am I dismissing it? I think most importantly. And then later, should I have really listened to that intuition without, judging or blaming yourself for having not listened to it? But I think the more we kind of pay attention to that inner wisdom, the stronger it grows. When we're dismissing it, we're not really nurturing and feeding our intuition. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. It's a lot. I think it's super cool. I think it's really fascinating. I just think our minds are so powerful. And so I love all these ideas. Even if I may never get there, I find it really interesting. So hopefully you guys do too. But I do think that, paying attention, we can all pay attention to our intuition. I think that's one way that we can right in this moment. Be conscious, start to work on building that third eye. Okay, so we're going to do a little guided meditation. I'm going to switch to music here. So you want to get comfortable. And you can just stretch your arms up overhead or twist a little bit to one side. Twist a little bit to the other side. Just kind of whatever you need to wiggle around to get comfortable. Oh, I forgot. Here was my other thought. So I have this little, sorry, can you see it in here? I have this little, really it's an aromatherapy diffuser. I don't have anything in it today. It just has these different changes colors. So I put it on the closest I could get to an indigo blue. This is my other thought about the candle gazing, was because I was reading something about light therapy, about using different colors to help heal the body. So I just thought, well, I wonder if I use this with my indigo blue, as close as I can get to an indigo blue. And if I just focused on that color, kind of the same, I don't know if it's going to work the same way as candle gazing, but I kind of had a thought that that might be interesting to kind of just focus on a color and see if that was helpful in any way. All right, here we go. We're going to do music. You're going to type in the chat if it's too loud or if you can't hear it. And then we're going to take a nice full breath. You consider you can lie down wherever you want to be. All right. So if you like, Ganesha Mudra. So we can just begin this way. So Ganesha Mudra, you're going to turn your right palm up, your left palm down. You're just going to put those fingers together. And then you want to find a comfortable spot. So if you're lying down, maybe that's just going to rest on your belly. If you're seated, maybe it's a little more in your lap. You can also try, sometimes I feel like my arms are too short. And it's not comfortable, and I'll just put like a pillow on my lap so I can rest down. Hello. This is probably that my shoulders are too tight. All right, and so we're just going to try to get comfortable. So if it's not comfortable to hold the mudra, let it go. Eyes can be opened or closed, however you're comfortable. Feeling your breath flow in and out. Imagine that the breath flows up through the nose to the third eye. Feel that breath flowing up through the nose, right up to your third eye. And imagine that breath flows back down from the third eye. Softening, relaxing as you go. Let each breath go up to that third eye. Relaxing and opening your mind as you breathe. You're going to feel that breath opening that spot at the third eye. If you're comfortable holding Ganesh and Mudra, feel free to continue to hold. If you'd rather let it go, just let it go. Take the mind through the body. Do a shorter version today. Mind down to your feet. Mind's eye. Observe your feet. Soles of the feet. Toes. Tops of the feet. Your mind's eye. Visualizing your feet. And letting them relax. Observe your ankles, lower legs, knees, and upper legs, hips. With your mind's eye, observe the legs. Visualize the hips, the pelvis. Everything relax as you breathe. Observe your abdomen, lower back, the whole rib cage. The chest, shoulder blades, the spine. In your mind's eye, observe your hands, fingers, palms of the hands, backs of the hands, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, shoulders, the tops of the shoulders, neck, throat, jaw, tongue, lips, cheeks, nose, eyes, eyebrows, the third eye, forehead, scalp, mind's eye. Observe the entire body. Observing how the body feels. Feel the breath flowing through your nose. And the breath again flowing up to the third eye. Feel the sensations at your third eye. Imagine at the third eye a circle of indigo blue light. Purpley blue light growing at the third eye. Peaceful color of the universe at the third eye. Window into all the wisdom of the universe. In front of your closed eyes. Picture the entire universe in front of you. Imagine your third eye drawing in all the knowledge and wisdom in the universe. Feel the peacefulness, being connected to the energy of the universe. Feel that you are connected to everything and everyone. Connected to all the energy that flows between us. Feel the peacefulness. Being connected to everything and everyone. Imagine the peacefulness of the night sky. A deep blue indigo, deep indigo blue, all around you. Sensations of peacefulness, stronger night sky. Quiet peacefulness all around you. Birds have returned to their trees. Heads beneath their wings. They dream of what tomorrow brings. The owls keep watch over the night. Flowers have folded their petals, holding inside the memory, the warmth of sun. Deep blue cloak of night wraps the earth softly in peaceful stillness. In quiet stillness, you see clearly things you no longer need. Let them slip away into the darkness of night. With each breath, discard all that is no longer relevant or useful in your life. Stress and tension, thoughts and habits that no longer serve you. And slip quietly into the night. In this peaceful, quiet moment, plant the seeds, all the things you wish to grow in your life. Plant the seeds in the fertile soil of your mind, where all things are possible. Know that the seeds you plant here will grow and become stronger. Each breath you take. You are a vast garden of wisdom and strength. Feel your wisdom and strength grow with each breath. Your third eye seeing more clearly with each breath. The breath be a little bit deeper. Weight of your body. Gently begin to move in any way that feels right. Swaying of the body. Maybe gently turning your head inside and to the other. Try to come back to center. As you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Hands come back down. Another big breath. Good. So I think what's important is just to be open to the possibilities. So one of the other big important concepts in Eastern philosophy is non-striving. So we're working on moving forward. We're open to the possibilities, but we're not really pushing our way there. We're trying to allow everything to unfold, and then things tend to happen more quickly. So in the physical practice, when we just allow ourselves into the poses and try to soften and lengthen, the body will let go more quickly. And so in this whole process of trying to, balance, open, master our chakras, our minds, it's just allowing that process to happen and being open to whatever does happen rather than trying to. So we make ourselves more stressed out when we're trying to, kind of push our way forward and resist what's happening. All right, as always, thank you all for being here. I'm gonna stop that now.